Hello, friends. Welcome to Straight to the Point, completely off topic with your host, Kyle Dunbar. And today we have our special guest, David Bell. David Bell 666 Tattoos. Is it still 666 Tattoos, brother?
It's just Dave Bell 666.
Oh, I thought, right on. Is that, what's that, a handle?
Yeah,
Everything?
that's pretty much across the board. So yeah,
Nice. You started that early. You were smart enough to nail all your handles down to one basic.
right, right.
It's
So yeah, I
genius.
figured just streamline it all, streamline it. So
But 666, is that still where we're at? I'm kind of surprised to hear that kind of hung around.
it is, and it's more or less a system of beliefs, I guess, as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to, it's more like live life for yourself and live how you want to live, but if accept the consequences if they come about, and take your
Or
lashes
when
for
they come
you. So
about.
yeah, they've come about a lot lately, but but yeah, it's my way of thinking, I guess you can say.
So,
So
David, we were on season three, correct?
four, season
Oh, it was
four.
four?
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
you were on
I'm
season
sorry.
three. I was on season four, and you were on back on season four.
Yeah, that's when I broke down. You broke down too. Your back broke down on her, or
Oh
your
yeah,
teeth.
yeah. Well, it was a lot more than that, but yeah. We'll start with
What was
my
it?
back. It was well, let's just say I had a little bit of an addiction problem while I was on the show, and I was making excuses for everything else except for what the real problem was, which was my addiction. But I was trying to blame it on my back or my fucking teeth falling out or whatever. And
How did we get? How'd you come to this addiction? What was it?
oh god, it started out as a pill addiction basically. And
Yeah. What was your
oh
favorite?
boy. Oh, the little blue betties, the fucking Roxy's.
Viagra.
No, those are good
I'm
too.
still addicted to them. Shit.
I'm all about the Viagra now. I'm 50 years old, man. I got a fucking 30-year-old girlfriend, dude. It's woo. But no, it was I got into a motorcycle accident, got hurt, and the
Okay.
doctors they put me on OxyContin and for pain as needed, the 30
Tasty.
milligram Roxy. So before I knew it, the doctors turned me into a fucking drug addict.
Is
And
30 the highest milligram you got to?
no, I was on 80 milligram Oxycontins.
So
And
you became a statistic in one of these popular Netflix documentaries right now.
I was one of those guys, yes. And yeah, they could
Sackler
have,
brothers had their way with you.
dude, they could have had their whole documentary on me. And but yeah, so it's like when I'm on the show, um, it was I basically brought enough pills for, figure 2 months out there while we're shooting and whatever. And I did
Uh-huh.
2 months worth of pills in about fucking a week. So here I am. I'm filming a fucking TV show with no drugs.
Right.
So
And then you just like your tolerance and your dependency just
oh
went up
yeah,
through the
oh
roof
yeah,
too.
oh exactly. And so I'm sitting there and I'm fucking out there shooting, and I ran out of my drugs, so I had to make every other excuse of how to get more drugs because we couldn't leave the studio, we couldn't leave set, and
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
so
pretty
basically
Loctite.
I had to do what I had to do, and
So what'd you pull out a tooth? You went in the closet, pulled the tooth out, said, "Hey, check it out. I'm bleeding."
pretty fucking much, man. Pretty fucking much. It was, yeah, it was bad, man. It was real bad, and it just got worse after that. So,
So how long did it take to really get an idea that this was the problem and you needed to do something?
um, oh god, I didn't realize that I needed to do something until about fucking 3 years ago. um, you know, it took a while for me to realize that it was a problem. I blamed
Right.
everything else around me, all the people around me. I blamed my
Right.
ex-wife. I blamed my mom, my dad, fucking tattooing. I blamed fucking everything,
You must have
except
had
my,
some money still then, because from what I know about addiction, it's not an addiction until you run out of money.
yeah, it's an addiction until you run out of money.
Right.
Exactly. Pretty much. And I mean,
Until then, you're just eccentric.
I'm just eccentric. That's funny. I've never fucking thought of it that way. But yeah, man, it was because when we're after the show aired and everything, dude, I was busy, man. I was making really good fucking money.
Yeah.
but I couldn't justify spending $600 a month on my prescriptions, right? But I could justify in my head spending $500 a day on heroin.
So
Okay.
it went from prescriptions
Oh God, yeah, it went
to
from
shooting it.
fucking
Because were
it
you
it
smoking
went
at first, or how were you taking the
no,
heroin?
well, I mean, oh, the heroin, I was snorting it at first, and then I went from
No.
snorting it to um, smoking it, from smoking it to shooting it to, I pretty much got it in my body every which way I possibly could.
Once you go to shooting it, that's pretty much you're
Yeah,
kind
dude,
of just done,
that's
right?
kind of the pinnacle right there. And I've always been an overachiever, so I said if I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna do it the best I can.
Well, I have heard those say too. I mean, it more as far as economically, right? That
Well,
they
yeah, because I
realized
mean,
at the point before, I mean, until they really started to slam it, as I hear it referred, when you start to use it intravenously,
you know the
you really
terms.
were just wasting heroin at that point.
It was, dude, and it's like when I was smoking, and I'm like, okay, I didn't really know better when I first started, and when I first started, smoking or whatever, it was yeah, I thought it was good, but then like started realizing, I'm like, yeah, this is kind of like I'm fucking burning all this shit. I'm not fucking getting all of it. I figured if you're gonna get high, get as high as you possibly can. So, fucking
Because
went to the
you're an
gym.
overachiever.
I am an overachiever. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it as best I can. So
Well,
yeah.
this led you down a path, I'm guessing, of destruction, but you don't
Um,
sound like you're still destroyed.
no, I mean I've changed my life, man. I got clean and sober. And I'm it did lead down a path, and it led to a very, very dark place, man. And you know, like I said, I'm the kind of guy, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it all the way. And at first I kind of romanticized drugs. I kind of romanticized the whole heroin thing.
All right.
And you know,
Basketball Diaries, Heroin Chic.
yeah, I was gonna be
Axl
dating
Rose
cute
even did
models,
it, didn't he? Fucking all the
right?
stars did. Fucking.
Oh God, and that was the image that I had in my head when I first started. And yeah, it's not like that at all. It's really not. It's dark, it's dirty, it's disgusting, it's gross, it's fucking horrible. Your health goes, your fucking money goes, your fucking life goes, and just you lose everything, man. And it
Do you
was
see it as do you see addiction as a disease?
yes, absolutely, I do. And
I
you
get
know,
some to argue with me on that. And I used to argue until I found myself in a class and they went over the epidemiology
right?
of the addiction, and it certainly follows the same exact path,
Yeah,
of epidemiology that say a cancer would.
it does, and it's just it starts in you, and it consumes you. It fucking consumes you, and you spend every waking moment on how am I going to get drugs? How am I going to get more drugs? How am I going to get my heroin? How am I going to do this? And it's scary. It's so sad. It's scary because it takes your mind and it fucking twists it and it fucking just turns it into this thing.
Would you say that it's satisfying almost to chase that heroin high all day, and because you really don't concern yourself with too much else, right?
No, you
Like you
don't.
have one drive. Everything else
Exactly,
is ancillary.
exactly. And it's my day used to be I'd wake up in the morning and I thought about tattoos and I thought about what tattoos I had to do and I'd draw and da 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 da. And that just became second, third to anything, to the
Mhm.
drugs. And it became okay, I got to do this tattoo to make this money so I can make this money to go buy my dope. And then you go buy your dope so you can tattoo to make more money to buy more dope, and just then tattooing's out the window, and then you're fucking homeless in Texas living behind a 7-Eleven and doing God
Oh
knows what
shit,
to make money for fucking oh dude, it got bad, bro. My life
dude!
in the span of 1 year went from fucking you know the show
Texas
airing.
got them big roaches too.
Dude, I was living in fucking I was living in Virginia when we did the show, and when the show aired, and I owned a successful tattoo shop and was married and had three stepdaughters, and life was beautiful on the outside. And then within the span of 1 year, man, it went from that to I was literally fucking homeless, living behind a 7-Eleven with absolutely nothing. I lost like literally everything. The only thing I had was the clothes on my back,
Right.
and I was begging for change for fucking to buy drugs, and that was what life became, man.
Did
You
you do
know
the gas story?
the what?
Gas story. My
Oh
family's
yeah,
locked in
no,
the car, ran out of gas.
no, no. I surprisingly
Sometimes
didn't have. It did.
it
I've
can
done it a time or two, but it does work sometimes.
it can make you creative,
It
right?
does. Dude, you get very fucking innovative, bro. Trust me. You learn how to do shit you never thought you would do in your entire life, And then you go to jail and prison, and then you really learn how to do some shit. So,
Is that
yeah,
I mean, a lot is put on now the stigma of or minimizing at least the stigma of being a junkie as it's
right.
considered. And actually,
Right.
even they're saying, kind of don't say junkie
Oh, I
because
love
that
saying it.
already has the stigma attached. Um,
Right.
did you have a hard time reaching out for help? And did you feel there was anything like that was holding
At
you
at
back because
first,
you were scared of? Mhm.
at first I did because at the time my ego was through the roof. So it was hard because I didn't want people to know that I was a drug addict. I was still trying to hide it from
Mhm.
everybody when everybody really fucking knew, but in my mind, nobody knew. And so I was trying to hide it from my parents, from, my friends, from loved ones, girlfriends, whatever. And it so when your ego comes into play, it what am I trying to say this? You know, it is hard to
You
ask for
can't
help
reach out
because
for help's what they're
no, you
saying,
can't. You
and I
can't.
can imagine, that I follow because even if you never start out like I'm gonna be a druggie, right? Like, or I'm
Right.
gonna be a junkie, as the term
Mm-hmm.
is stigmatized.
Right.
But after a accident, you find that this thing alleviates the pain and becomes
Right.
a necessity.
Right.
And now that we understand heroin better too, there was a study done in California, I believe, um, where they found that the more you use, obviously, the more dependency you have, but also the more tolerance you have, but
Right.
then also the less tolerance you have against pain. So
Right.
nicks and bruises hurt more now,
Exactly.
and pretty
And they do.
soon, yeah, you stub your toe and you're like, oh, I'm going to need an oxy for that,
Right.
because
Right.
it literally hurts you more. It can really make you, like crutches can make you lame if you don't use them right.
Right.
And these drugs are the same and an easy progression to them.
Right. Hold on. Hold on one second.
Okay.
I just have to send a screenshot to Bill of what we talked about this morning.
Oh, okay.
2 seconds.
Okay.
You can still talk.
Oh, I can still talk.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can still talk.
Sorry, something at work here.
Oh, you're fine, brother. Is everything all right? Do we need to
No, no,
schedule
no, no, no,
anything, or
no, no,
okay?
no.
Hi,
We're
Kyle.
good.
It's
We're good.
Nora. We're good.
Word. How you
How
doing,
are
Nora,
Nora?
you?
Nora's here real quick. She wants to say hi to you.
Hey.
You know, yes. The picture of us and the other guy.
Dude, I look so bad in that fucking picture.
Stop.
I don't mean
Oh
to
my
go off
gosh.
topic, but dude, I look like if Marilyn Manson and Chevy Chase and Dom DeLuise had a kid.
He
Don't you
was
love that people take pictures and they'll like, let's check it to see if it looks good. They're gonna look at one person to see how that person looks, and they'll be like, it's fine. Meanwhile, you look like you're smelling eggs or something.
Oh yeah, you look great. Nora looks great. I look like a fucking tub of shit.
he does not.
Yes, I do.
No, you do not.
Yes, I do. But back on topic. You know,
Speak a little bit closer to
oh,
the phone
sorry,
if you
sorry.
don't
Sorry,
mind.
it's me doing
Audio
Hold
changed.
on.
what I need to
She has to
do.
do one thing real quick for work
Okay.
on the
All right.
on the thing we're using
Well, just
here.
hang tight. I'm smoking right now, anyways.
So am I. All right, so there's that. Okay.
But I do. There's a few questions that some redditors have for us
Oh,
that I
absolutely.
want to get to. I think it's going to give you a bit of redemption time.
I would absolutely love that because I have read some of the things that have been posted online. And, oh
Okay.
my god.
Well, you're
Oh Lord.
obviously a racist, or else you were born in 1988.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, hell
But
no.
I was figuring that whatever racisms in the past there might have been, I'm guessing
Right.
that's
But
reconciled, or
well,
Nora would
yeah,
kick your
I
ass
mean,
pretty good. I'm betting.
when I was younger, okay, growing up like where I grew up in Southern California,
Hold
it's
up. let's wait on it, man. Let's save it, can it
Okay. All right.
until
So,
the audio is good. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Okay, because I already know. I know, brother. Fucking
Right.
shit. I know.
Yeah.
Um, it was easier to tattoo skinheads. Like you could get into it. Like you
Right.
could, if you tattooed one, you could tattoo others. I mean, and
Right.
I wasn't necessarily affiliated in any way ever, but there was a certain amount of it that's where I was getting my first machines from, was fucking
Yeah.
hate crime pieces of shit,
Well, I mean, you look back to like when we got into tattooing, I mean, it was still kind of at the end of that like bikery era of tattoo. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
when it still was kind of, tattooing was still kind of outlaw and kind of
Mm-hmm.
dirty, and it was gritty, and it
Not
was,
when it was infiltrated by graphic artists.
oh my god, dude, I
Failed
hate where
graphic
tattooing is.
artists.
I can't stand where tattooing is now. I love
I
tattooing.
love it, but these guys are just too good for me to compete with. It
Dude,
pisses
I
me
want to
off.
go punch every one of these little fuckers in the face for being as good as they are. It's like, oh yeah, I've been tattooing 6 months, and I'm already a master of portraits, and blah 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 blah, because my skinny jeans and my beard look really fucking nice on. And dude, I
Uh-huh.
just want to fucking
I'm just
strangle him.
listening to a podcast yesterday. A friend of mine, some friends of mine do, called Tattoo Guardians. So it's Joshua Carlton, Matt Clemmer, and Hip. And
I used to work with Josh Carlton years ago. Years ago,
the respect that these people. So, anyways, they're talking about tattoos, and they're reviewing them. They're really showing some of their best. I'm not watching, so I can't see it. But then they start talking about this guy's portrait and how beautiful it is, and it's his first tattoo he's ever freaking done.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I fucking hate that kid already, and I don't even know who it is.
It's one of their apprentices or something like that. So
yeah.
You used to work with Carlton, though. How long ago was this?
Oh god, this was years ago. It was very, very briefly. It was at the Enchanted Dragon in Tucson, Arizona. And I remember he showed me, he did this portrait. I think it was on his wife or his girlfriend or something. It was a Marilyn Monroe, I believe it was, and it was like done all in blue. And seeing where that portrait was and where he is now, oh my god, dude, the guy's leaps and bounds. Like, he's such a badass tattoo artist. But
it's definitely studied it.
It was very, very briefly, like God, this is 20 something years ago. Something. Dude, we're considered old schoolers.
Well, I mean, we kind of are now. I mean, we still have our respect and our stories that we have to teach to the younger kids, about those that we got a chance to meet.
Right.
Matter of fact, I gotta try and schedule a podcast with Rick Cherry here afterwards, after I get off with you. He's an old timer that has like direct lineage back to, I believe it was John Waters or some shit, man.
Really?
Like,
oh wow.
Yeah. And I mean, Philadelphia, Eddie's gone, Kate's gone.
Yeah, I know.
And
crazy,
man. You did you get tattooed by Jack Rudy at one time? Or was that was actually
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a piece on my leg done by him years ago. God, dude, 100 years ago, and it still looks as good as the day he did it. I mean,
yeah,
did he do
a single needle or what?
Yeah, he did it. It was all single needle work, and it's a little fucking one of his little skulls, and yeah, God, that was a long fucking time ago. But yeah, I've been tattooed by him. Got tattooed by Horiyoshi.
Oh wow.
Been tattooed by, who else have I been tattooed by? Big Jazz.
Yes.
It's funny, dude, because the racist
He's
tattoo that I got on my fucking forehead, the fucking 818 or 88, as everybody says.
Yes, I'm supposed to ask you about that. I don't know if Candy's going to be able to salvage the audio, but Redditors were curious what the 88 means. Typically, it stands for Hail Hitler.
Right.
But you got tattooed by Brooklyn Jazz.
And he did the fucking 818 on my forehead. So I'm like,
it's 818.
It's 818 for it's where I lived in Southern California.
Oh God.
818. It's this zip code for the San Fernando Valley.
But how close does that look to from
a distance? Well, no, it looks really close to an 88.
Way to go, Jazz.
Did Jazz know undertones? But yeah, it's funny because the most racist tattoo that people say I have was done by a big old black dude. And yeah, I think it's kind of interesting, and I kind of chuckle at it, but apparently.
Okay, I figured they must have seen something that I didn't, because I thought it must have been an 88 there, and I know a lot of people have some past.
It it
And
it does, and it is an 88 with it's 818 is what it is, but if you look at it, it looks like 88 with a lightning bolt in the middle. So yeah, it can kind of be misconstrued as an 88, I
what
guess.
you keeping it? What you doing? Does it
You know what?
keep
I
you
mean,
from friends?
I'm a firm believer in don't cover up your shit, for the most part, because tattoos are memories, dude. Tattoos
Yeah.
are it's a moment in time that we can look back on, and it for me
Well,
that
it's on your face too. I dare
it's
say tattoos are
it's
also a feng shui for your life direction. And oh
right.
no, man, if that's keeping you from getting a grant
No,
or a
I mean
student loan,
it's actually on my forehead, like right where my hairline is. So if my hair's growing out, you can't see it. Um, so like right now, I got no hair, so you
right?
can't see it. But when my head's shaved and there's a big 88 on my 818 on my forehead, you can kind of see it. And
Well, your
you might
sponsor is
think that
black. Am I mistaken?
my what?
Nora is maybe she's not your sponsor,
No,
but
Nora's my best friend and my roommate,
okay,
and yeah,
and
she's black. Yeah,
it it kind of dispels a certain amount of
yeah, you know.
okay.
And I was adopted, and my whole family's Hispanic. Um, so there's that, and no, I'm not a racist, but I
Do
mean,
you
if you want me,
feel were you addicted personality prior to the oxycontins?
yes, yes, I've always had kind of an addictive personality. I mean, look at I didn't just get one tattoo. Look at me, yeah, I've always had an addictive personality, and I don't think I ever really realized what an addictive personality was until the drugs came into play. But yeah, no, I've absolutely always had an addictive personality, 100%. You know, and
What kind of you were adopted to a Hispanic family? What kind of neighborhood did you grow up in? Community?
I grew up
Typically,
in
there's a pretty strong Hispanic kind of
yeah.
community a lot of times
I
in the
mean,
family.
my the our family itself is a very your typical like dude. Everybody now lives within like 2 miles of each other, and
Oh,
they're
cool.
very close knit. And but
In
growing up,
Texas or
no, no,
Virginia
no,
or where?
my family's actually I'm from California originally,
Okay,
from
yes.
like Los Angeles
818.
area. Yeah, 818 exactly. And so I moved out of my house at a very very young age, and kind of went out on my own um when I was like 16. And but so growing up, I grew up very like I would say upper middle class, I guess you could say. Um but because my dad was in retail, and he managed like big retail stores, and so we kind of moved around quite a bit on the West Coast. But my family itself was
How is
always
it
very close.
they go to so a Hispanic family goes to the adoption agency and they're
Right.
looking at the kids in the cages like a bunch of pound puppies or something. And they look at
They're
cute
like, we
little
want the
David
little white
Bell
one.
over there. And they're like, the one that looks like he struggles with the sunshine. We
Exactly.
no,
I was scratching on the glass nicely, and they liked the way that I came up and played with them, when they
no,
first
did
got there.
they know your family that your family was in need
No,
or
well, what
it
happened?
was through an agency?
Yeah, this was back in the 70s, and I mean,
Mm.
I'm 50 now, but when when I was adopted, my biological mom was 15, and my biological dad was like 22, something like that. Um,
Oh God.
yeah, oh yeah, man, and so I'm kind of figured there was a little bit of a backstory there, but
Mm-hmm.
my apparently my biological mom, I don't know her, I don't know her name or anything like that, but she wanted me to be, she gave me up for adoption, and she wanted me to be adopted by a nice Catholic family, is like
Mm-hmm.
her stipulation on it, I guess, or whatever. And my mom, I guess she couldn't have kids, and so her and my father were looking for a while, for a few years, for a son or a daughter, whatever. And
Yeah.
when I came about, when I came on the market, um it took, I mean, I guess they were trying to get me, or however you put it, they were buying
Mhm.
me or whatever. It
Right.
took them a couple of years to get me because I guess there was, I don't know how it works, but I guess something came up and they were like, oh well, we got this nice little kid for a nice Catholic family, and you guys are a nice Catholic family, so here you go. So yeah, they
Okay.
paired us together, and I guess yeah, it's kind of weird
Like a
talking about it.
fine wine and
Yeah, like they were the steak and I was the wine, and so it was I guess yeah, it took them a couple of years to get me, but yeah, I guess
was
after I was
there
born.
do you
I don't
think
know.
there was this separation kind of pain or trauma that was from that was eased with your addiction or your addictive personality?
I I wonder about that a lot, because I wonder, was my biological mom an addict, was my dad an addict, um so I'm thinking that there was some addictive tendencies in either one of them, but like growing up, it was never uh, it was never like I always knew, as far back as I can remember, I knew that I was adopted, and it was never like a thing to me. It was just kind of like
Right
whatever,
on.
but
Yeah,
you
some
know
people are adopted, some people ain't.
yeah, and some people, like, I guess when they're adopted, they have an issue with it. It fucks them up,
Mhm.
because they never knew their parents or whatever. And for me, it was never like that. My mom and dad are my mom and dad. And we had there was abuse and alcoholism in my dad, but
That's
I
just
never.
typical Catholic family, ain't it? I think
Yeah,
that's
fucking, you
almost
go
a
to church on
mandatory,
Sunday, you
no?
say
Or
I'm sorry, you're forgiven, and then you go home and beat your kids the rest of the week. And the priest touched the little kids and all kinds of things. But yeah, I guess it was
no, that's not going on at your church, right? You're not getting
no,
rubbed and touched by the.
no.
Were
I just
were you feeling bad about that? Were you like, what
I
about me?
well, when I was an altar boy, the priest did ask me to come by on Mondays and Tuesdays for the special lessons, and
Are you serious or are you kidding me?
no, I'm totally fucking kidding, dude. No, no, no priest ever touched me.
What do you
That
are
was.
you still Catholic? What do you have faith now? 666 implies
Oh, do
something.
I have faith? No. I don't really believe in God.
How do
And
you do the 12 steps without that?
that it is kind of rough. Well, I mean, in the 12 steps, it's the power that your own power, whatever you want your power to be.
Determine it to be higher
Yeah,
power.
some people look to God, some people look to fucking a pizza, some people look to Ronald McDonald as their God. I mean, whatever.
Right. Well, I had a guy explain to me a rock could be uh, better than him because that rock wasn't addicted. It was here before him. It
Right.
was going to be here after him. He has some faith in it because it will always be a rock. Even if you break it up, it's the same fuck. It's dust from that rock. So he was able to use some kind of higher power, I guess, in that.
Right. And I mean, I look at my higher power as, as me, I guess you can say, because I'm the one that's going to make my changes for me. I'm the one that's going to do this. I'm the one that did this to myself. It all kind of falls back on me, I guess,
Man,
as
that's why I like the Jesus because I can just blame it all on Satan. Like Satan made me
right.
do it. That fucking asshole.
Devil made me
He's
do it.
always working on me.
Not today, Satan. So, but
Yeah.
I guess when, like, the 12 steps in that, it's for me it's I don't really have like a higher power as like a I don't have like a what do you call it, like a fucking, like a talisman. I don't have something like I look up to and say that's my higher power. My higher power for me is myself, I guess you could say. So yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not against, I kind of have a belief we're all the same.
Yeah.
I mean, same stardust or whatever unique, or even maybe it's not so unique, but whatever it is, we all share that. And certainly
Right.
we all meet the same end. Nobody skips the line. We all, so at least inside of that humanity, I know we have some shared. And
Right.
I don't know, that gives me some kind of faith. Like,
Right. Do you believe in God and Jesus? And I mean, I believe in Jesus. I believe Jesus walked this earth, yes, and I believe that he did,
mhm.
some. crazy things, but I think he was a really good and then a good soapbox salesman, or a snake oil salesman. And
Well, just like the 12 steps,
yeah,
I find sometimes we can choose to believe. And I meet
right,
Christians in America, it's like 65% still, I think. I
right,
meet Christians who choose parts of the Bible they want to follow and they don't
right,
adhere to others. The
right.
truth of the matter is, if you're a devout Christian, you probably need to turn your fucking TV off and try not to look at billboards.
Right,
They are designed lustfully.
right, exactly,
And
exactly,
if they work on you at all, it's because they've appealed to one of the basest instincts inside of you that
right.
excited your gluttony, your greed, or your
Hmm.
lasciviousness.
Yeah,
And so, with that kind of context, and where people kind of just choose to be like, whatever, I mean, Sundays, the God's day, but there's, I also like my football.
right,
Um, and it's almost more important, well, we want to leave the church early because I've decided I can I can believe and I can
right.
have faith because if it benefits me, then why the fuck not?
True.
And if in a conversation we come to a point where somebody's going to hold their moral judgments over top of me and
Hmm.
never give me my due process to defend myself because of whatever,
Right,
then I would certainly just be like, yeah, no, I'm a Christian. And so I
right.
started a church, the Church of Jesus Christ with Faith to Follow. You're all welcome to join it. It's pretty nice so far. I'm pretty sure we get tax-free property. Not exactly how it all works, but I'm pretty positive it is. And you see, it's the Church of Jesus Christ with Faith to Follow. If we do this Jesus Christ stuff and it
Right,
seems to work, then of course we're going to have faith. And it
right.
worked for me right away because I found out I started reading the Bible, and in the Bible, it starts talking about tithing. I don't know if you're familiar with this,
Yes,
but you're
right.
supposed to give 10% of your weekly income
To
to
the
the
church.
church.
Yep.
Hmm. And so I started this church and I'm a pastor. And so I realized I would really only need 10 people to follow me and to follow the tenets of Christ. And those people would make enough for me just to write a sermon all week long. And damn, it
Right.
better be a good one, right? And now here's what happened. Every day I go into Walmart, whatever, to do my shopping, buy my BVDs or whatever. And I look at people and the guy's like, hello, welcome Walmart. I'm like, fuck you, whatever, dude. And I look at people and we're almost competing for the same resources. I'm like, oh, there's not so many Star Wars towels left. I'm grabbing those, whatever it is. There's a weird competition. But
Right.
after this happened, I walk through the Walmart, and the guy greets me and he said, "Hey, welcome to Walmart." And I think you could give me 10% of your income.
Yep.
And immediately my faith in humanity rose. A smile was on my face. And I thought, there's something to this faith shit.
Right. You can
So
make some money doing this.
yeah, I mean, and and if that's the way the Lord rewards my faith, well, then so far I'm keeping walking with him. If he doesn't pan out, then Buddha, the fucking Muhammad's, I don't know, whoever we got to go to. We'll pick another one. But
But
currently,
one of these
it
guys is going to make me get some money.
well, he's going to benefit my life. There's another thing I
Exactly.
know. You watch the UFC, right?
No.
He's oh well, you
But
watch
I'll say,
any
for conversation's sake, I'll say yes. Okay.
guy
All right.
gets done beating the shit out of his opponent, points up to Allah, and he
Right.
says, all praise be to Allah.
Hmm.
And then another dude on another day, he beats the shit out of his opponent. And he says, God,
Right.
all praise goes to God.
Right.
And you think, well, I mean, really? Like, how could it be?
Right.
If God's the one that helped you win today, buddy, if he's the one that was the final determining factor, and he's the one that deserves all glory, then how come it's Allah on another day?
Right.
Well, inside of America, it's just better to be Christian. So I don't know. That's where I wake up and butter my bread on.
So I wake up and butter my bread on.
It there's a
Go ahead.
curiousness there, about which it would be. And to me, I imagine that if everybody picks and chooses the parts of the Bible they want to believe anyways, and here's what I just found this out. Did you know that God used to have a wife?
Really?
God, yeah, God, like the like
But I thought
foot.
God
Mhm.
wasn't God a woman?
In the Bible, right? No, he's like
Well,
he's
I know.
man.
Yeah,
Like we
yeah.
imagine he has a penis because man's created in his image, and woman's made out of a rib.
Right. But it's just okay. Going. So God had a wife.
God had a wife. Like was written out of the Bible under the reign of Josiah. If I'm familiar, if I'm getting that
Was
name
God
right.
an actual ever a physical person?
Well, have you ever
No,
read
I mean,
like
because okay,
Exodus and
right,
Genesis? Because like yeah, he came down and he was like he appeared to Abraham.
Abraham, yeah,
But then I felt like later on in the Bible we get the understanding that you cannot view his countenance. So he
exactly,
must have taken a form so that he could commune with Abraham in the middle of the desert and said, "Hey, build some altars. I'm going to give you a bunch of children, and it's going
right.
to suck for them for 400 years." Like, whoa, hey, dude.
People in the Bible lived a long time. It wasn't like average age like 130.
There's some weird stuff in the Bible
There,
about
there
that.
is, there
Well,
is.
I mean, I think the math was meant to be done so it could fit inside of archaeological finds.
Right,
So they're like, oh well, if because all people since pretty much time are pretty much recorded in there, right? Up to a
right,
point.
right,
And so then we start to find out the Earth is way fucking older than we thought. And
right.
so they started stretching lifespans out. That my understanding of it was they're like, oh yeah, well, that's because Moses was 762 years old.
Right. Yeah.
Right now, everything checks out. Carbon dating be damned.
The timeline works now. We
Yeah, things.
figured it out.
The whale that ate Jonah wasn't a
Right.
whale; it was a leviathan. It was just a monster from the deep. Back then, we just thought there was lurking monsters from the deep, and the idea that one of them could swallow and eat you and spit you back out just made sense. I mean, it don't make no fucking sense. There ain't
No,
no
no.
beast in the
Right.
fucking world that you get down inside of that fucking gutty works and you don't start dying, you
Right.
know, and live for 3 days
Right.
while he swims around.
Yeah.
Like some like
It's really
it's
nothing that big.
yeah, and I guess the same the with God having a wife and then her being written into it to then cast her in a bad light, and also old references to her being written out during the king's reign. It gets you the idea that maybe this information wasn't so maybe it was divinely inspired. But when
Right.
I do a tattoo inspired on somebody's idea, it is not their exact idea.
No, never is.
And so if it's going through the hand of man, then it must have some changes.
Okay.
I begin to think that those guys in that UFC, when they show me that they praised to two different guys, but they both had enough faith that it woke them up in the morning and they fucking trained like goddamn beasts. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like with a faith beyond my own capability. Well, if I can harness that faith, then I'm better off. That's what I
Right.
figured. So maybe I work I just say, yeah, I have this faith. I do have this faith in the fact that we are all from the same material.
Right.
Even if that does that imply a God? Kind of. Does that I don't
Mm,
know that we're not God. You understand that you yourself are the determining factor in your
right.
choices, in your
Right.
habits that make you, in your
Right.
in your behaviors that make you.
But that would
Well,
come down to like free will because you choose to do those things. I mean, I don't know. Well,
that makes you God over that. I don't know. I, I,
exactly.
I think we all kind of, if God, there's a lot of the Bible that don't make sense to me.
Yeah.
And one of the parts that don't make sense is how boring heaven seems. And it doesn't make sense that God would give you this life of learning and pursuit and passion, where the ones that are rewarded are the ones that follow pursuit and freedom and
Right.
passion. I shouldn't
I
say
think heaven will
follow
be a little bit
pursuit,
more
but
exciting.
Yeah, and then you just like, okay, now you just kick back on Relax Street.
Yeah,
Like there's nothing really to do. You don't have pain anymore. So you don't really experience happiness anymore, to be honest. You just have a constant medium. If you're always like running
because
super
without pain,
high,
there's no without
you have
pain, you wouldn't know joy.
yeah.
You wouldn't know.
What's the
So,
reference?
yeah.
Just
So if you don't
one
have pain, that's
constant
true, dude. Wow,
boring
you
ass hum
yeah,
of white light, just lulling you to sleep like an infant. It's got to be that this is if God exists, right? Then this would have to be a test because the fucker could have made us gods.
true.
According to the play Lord Byron, that wrote called Cain and Abel. No, just Cain, which was
Right,
a story about Satan walking with Cain and explaining some shit to him like, hey, I'm not the bad guy. I'm just the one that loses.
right.
God's got the pen. The most powerful one's got the pen. I can't beat him.
He who writes the story.
But he could have made you just as strong as he is,
Right,
but he didn't.
but he didn't.
So I don't know.
Interesting.
If he's a benevolent God, then my answer to the reason he made us with the flaw of death and mortality is to learn something. And if we're to learn something, then it makes sense to me that there's something else that knowledge will be applied to next, and that's going to be way more awesome even than this. And this has been pretty awesome. You know,
Right.
I,
I think
we've
life's a beautiful thing. It really is. It's I don't know. It,
I agree
I
certainly,
used
and you have to kind of go low to even be able to see that sometimes, right?
and it took me going, kind of like change the subject a little bit, but it was like, it people look at life, like our life, our physical lives or whatever, as just, so many people get down on it and just, oh, I hate my life, or I, whatever, this or that. Life is such a beautiful thing. And it took me dying, or it took me, overdosing or living that fucking shitty life to appreciate the things that we have now.
You got an OD under your belt there.
I got three.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
this is after attempts to quit as well, or just this is
One,
all on the same spiral.
it kind of always, I didn't really attempt to quit until somewhat recently, I guess you could say, in the past, in the span of things, somewhat recently. Because I've been sober for almost 2 years now. And you
Congrats.
know, thank you. Thank you. It was the best thing I could have ever done with my life. But it no, my first overdose was, oh God, probably about a year into my heroin. Um and it
How'd
was
you come
crazy.
out of it?
Um
EMT
Narcan.
kind of stuff?
Yeah,
Narcan,
EMT.
okay.
I woke up and the EMTs were there, and um I remember I was actually telling this story to somebody today. And I was in Texas, and fucking I remember my friend, because I couldn't, whenever I shot up, I could never find fucking veins, so I had to have somebody shoot me up. And it was a mixture of heroin, cocaine, and meth. And
Oh,
oh yeah, dude.
that's
And
what we
fucking,
call the old speedball right there,
oh
ain't it?
yeah, dude. It was like God jerking off in your veins, dude. It was fucking amazing.
That's
And
everything all at once.
yeah, dude. And I remember
Oh my,
she found a vein in my fucking toe, and she fucking I remember her pushing in the hitting the vein, pushing in the syringe, and I remember fucking telling her this is fucking amazing, and then I don't remember anything after that. Um, and then I woke up, and I fucking remember like just sitting up, like alert and looking around me, and I remember seeing there was like 4 or 5 EMTs there. There was like 3 police officers,
it
and my
wasn't
friend,
amazing anymore.
no, and my friend was standing there in front of me, and they all just had this look of like, what the fuck just happened?
Was it like they saw a ghost?
Like it, because I guess I was dead. I guess I flatlined, and then I
People
came
were
back.
freaking out around you. Were they were pumping on your chest? I'm guessing
Yeah,
then.
dude. Listen,
Were you
okay,
sore?
listen to this. So
Hmm?
I come to, and everybody's like looking at me like they just saw a ghost, because they did just see a guy die. And I sit
Yeah.
up, and I look at him, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? And I'm like looking at everybody really confused. And my friend, and I remember my chest was, oh, it hurt so bad. Like
Oh
it hurt
yeah.
to breathe. And my
Yeah.
face hurt. My face fucking was killing me. And come to find out that my friend, when I, after she fucking gave me the injection, I fucking started fucking going out. She was sitting on top of me and she was fucking pushing on my chest so hard, she cracked my sternum.
Yeah.
And she fucking pissed herself because she was pushing so hard. And fucking, my shirt was all wet. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, she fucking pissed all over me,
Uh-huh.
cracked my sternum, and she was punching me in the face so
Oh,
hard.
to wake you up. That's why
She
your
fucked
face
my
hurt.
jaw, dude. And she's like, I was sitting there fucking hitting you as hard as I could, and you weren't moving. You were just fucking
Well,
blocked.
stop. It's not working.
God, dude.
You ever
Fucking
heard of an open hand slap? Take some pimp lessons. You don't want to
right?
damage your product.
Powder up the fucking hand first. But yeah, man, she was fucking sitting there. She was pushing on my chest so hard, she fucking like cracked my sternum. The fucking EMTs were like, "Yeah, your sternum is probably fucked up." So they
Yeah.
take me to the fucking hospital, right? And I fucking,
Smelling like piss. They don't change your clothes
I
or
got
they
my
cut you
fucking
out of
pea
them.
shirt on and my fucking broke jaw. And I'm sitting in the fucking hospital, and I remember my friend, because she didn't. I guess they didn't know my name at this point or who I was, and because I didn't have idea. Fucking,
Yeah. You
fucking
John Doe, unresponsive, can't
yeah.
trust a word coming out of your mouth anyways.
And my friend wouldn't tell him who I was because she didn't want,
Well, snitches get stitches. Good honor.
I think I had a warrant or something. She didn't want me to fucking go to jail, or she didn't want
Right.
me fucking like ruining my TV name or some shit like that. So fucking,
Okay.
I'm sitting there and I'm in the hospital, and I remember my fucking phone rings, and I pick up my phone. It was my friend. She's like, "You got to get out of there right fucking now." She's like, "They found out who you were, and I think they're running your name, and they're gonna come fucking arrest you or something like that."
Hmm.
And so I'm in the hospital. I got the fucking little sticky things all over my chest and shit. And
Yeah.
fucking, dude, I
Electro.
remember, like, I stood up, I pulled the fucking IV out, pulled all the fucking um sticky fucking thingies off me, and
Yeah.
fucking took the fuck off, dude, out of that
Like a
fucking
movie,
hospital.
right?
Just like a fucking movie.
Like some dramatic scene in a movie where a guy's about to chase his fiance down to the airport. No, she's
Exactly.
leaving. Where?
And my friend,
Taxi.
she's like, we're outside waiting for you. So I'm like, fucking, I run out the fucking hospital, and fucking, I'm at the wrong end of the hospital. I'm fucking standing. I'm like, these motherfuckers are not outside waiting for me.
You're in your gown. I mean, you don't have clothes.
Well,
I'm
no, my
guessing.
clothes were sitting next to me on the chair.
Okay.
And
And officers weren't standing by, obviously.
no, there was nobody. No, the cops were. I
No
thought
crime. Okay.
no
No
cops,
crime was
nothing.
really committed when they
Right,
came, except that you were just
a dead
overdosing.
junkie. Yeah, and
Dead
but
junkie.
yeah, so I fucking remember, fucking ran out, dude. I'm like, she's like, we're here waiting for you, and I ran to the wrong side of the fucking hospital like an idiot.
Mm.
So I'm standing out there, fucking looking around, and there's nobody there, and so yeah, then I had to go run into the woods, and it was fucking big thing.
Did you text him from the woods there, like
Yeah, so I'm
behind
like,
the
I'm over,
bushes and
fucking over
shit?
on the backside of the hospital, the wrong side, and yeah, come get me. So they came and got me, and we got pancakes.
And then how much longer till the next? Because honestly, that's what we would call in Narcotics Anonymous. We would call that's a wake up call. How
Well,
much
that was
time
supposed to
passed till
be
your next wake up call?
that right there was supposed to be, my rock bottom, because that would be most people's rock bottom. If you
Yes,
just
yes,
died,
that would
fucking
be a significant rock bottom. You
yeah,
literally are wearing someone else's piss. When you got out of the gown, you got
yeah.
back. They didn't wash your clothes for you.
No, 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 no. They don't have laundry service there.
No,
No, I still had
you got into piss clothes.
I got out of my piss clothes into my nice comfortable gown. Then I had to get out of my comfortable gown back into my piss clothes, and you
Man,
know,
you're low at
dude.
lifestyle when you're thinking that one of them hospital gowns is comfortable.
When you think your jail jumpsuit is more comfortable than what you were wearing,
Yeah,
you
I just
might have
like
a
it. I don't know
problem.
what you're talking about, man. It fits right. It's one
Fucking,
piece.
yeah, dude. And but see that, what you would think that that's most people's rock bottom, and but no.
Mm-hmm. No,
Remember,
you say you did it twice more.
I am an overachiever. I'm not just going to do it once. I'm going to do it again and again. So, no, that wasn't rock bottom for me. That was just like a bump. Um, so yeah, I went and got pancakes after that, and then I went back and got high again, and just kept on the same path, and didn't learn from that lesson, nothing. And
You think it took a
now,
couple of weeks, couple of months, or years
What?
even of that until you had another overdose?
Yeah, it was about another, oh God, probably about 6 months before I had another overdose.
Okay.
Um,
Almost
and
some time. I would have figured it would almost exponentially pick up. And then I'm guessing the one after that was less than 6 months.
yes, the one after that was pretty close. My third one was right after my second one. Um,
Right. Yeah. Because
I like almost Nikki Sixth at that time and just fucking,
you
heroin needles
start,
still in you and fucking, what's that?
I'm guessing that you start having almost, and you said you romanticized a lot of the heroin
Right.
addiction. You probably start to romanticize the death part of it too.
Exactly. You do. And, because at the time it was like, I, um, I gave up on life, dude. I gave up on fucking everything. I gave up on trying. I gave up on, you know, trying to get sober. I gave up on fucking love. I gave up on tattooing. I gave up on everything, man. I really did.
Food.
No, I didn't give up on food. I'm not stupid. Um,
Really?
I love
Most
food.
most junkies, they're
Most
like,
junkies, dude, I was the fattest fucking junkie you'd ever see. I still love to fucking eat, dude.
were you
But
dumpster diving, or were you just hustling that little bit more for the food?
no, I mean, yeah, I did my fair share of dumpster diving. We wait out behind restaurants at night for them to throw out food, and
Yeah.
um,
I
we'd
seen
fucking
a guy
do that.
in California, a homeless guy, meth head, had to be. I mean,
Mhm.
you can just tell, right? I mean, I'm
Right,
not trying, and maybe I guess I'm making the stigma worse when I say that. But this person, he was a human. He has humanity, but
right,
he has lost a lot of it. And he
yeah,
found some French fries that somebody had thrown away in the trash, and it was like
yeah,
happy day. He starts dancing around about
yeah,
it, and he's going through their ketchup and used his finger to lick up the last bit of ketchup somebody else was dipping in their stuff.
yeah,
And you were just like, and when he was done, you could, there was this pleasantness on his face, like he felt like he had just done his duty for his body, and now he could go take care of his head, his addiction.
yeah. I
He's
I
like, all right,
never.
off to get meth.
I guess I was kind of bougie for being a homeless guy because I mean I never I mean I ate some pretty bad stuff, but never like somebody's leftovers that was in the garbage. Never that. Never at that point. I would steal
Right,
my food before I had to do that, and
right.
I still liked my food to be somewhat fresh or just mine, basically.
Even
Um,
as a tattoo artist, I think it's our, we just eat cold food. It's at
yeah,
least tattooing at a convention, you're just like,
yeah. I
bet this
mean, dude,
salmon was good when it was warm, huh? You know?
how many fucking cold pizzas have you eaten? And fucking yeah, as a tattoo artist, dude, you never really get like, especially when you're working in a shop and you're busy. It's like you'll order lunch or you'll get lunch and they'll sit there for fucking 2 hours for you to finish up before you eat it. And
All right.
yeah, you
And
come
then you have
pretty.
your Thai food cold, and you just get
Yeah,
used to it. Like I feel, at least I've developed a cold food palate. A lot of times
I
I'll just take it
see.
out of the
I
fridge now instead of
Not
warming
me.
it up in the microwave. Anyways, it's like that's all the same.
I still can't do leftovers. Fucking leftovers freak me out for some reason. I don't know.
And this even when you were addicted.
Yeah,
Oh, you didn't have a refrigerator. What am I talking about?
no, no. I mean, I would, there'd be times where I just wouldn't eat. I'd rather do my drugs than fucking eat. I got $10. Can I spend more heroin or fucking food? And I'd spend on
Okay,
heroin.
see, that's what I mean. Food, you give up
Oh,
on it. What about where were you staying at? You on the were you on the streets, or you crashing at
um,
people's places?
well, here, the story, like how it goes when I was because I moved to Texas, um, and then I became homeless in Texas, and that's where when I moved to Texas is when things really fucking started going shitty, and I moved out there for a job to tattoo, and this time I'm still a functioning working tattooer with a bad
Right.
addiction. So,
Yeah.
I was still able to cover up my addiction for a little bit here and there. But so when I moved to Texas, you know, as a drug addict, you rule of thumb is you never move more than 10 miles from your fucking dealer. And when I moved from okay, at that point I went from Virginia to Arizona. I was in Arizona. I moved from Arizona to Texas. When I got to Texas, I didn't know anybody out there. I didn't know any dealers. I didn't know
Uh,
anybody. So, you know,
you hit the streets. What do you do?
Yeah,
So
well, when I
you
ran out
got
of
to try
fucking
and confide in somebody at work, but then they know about your habit.
exactly, and so I couldn't say anything to any of the people at work. So when I moved to Texas, I moved to Fort Worth, and I was working right there by the stockyards, and so I remember it was like my first week at the shop towards the end of the week, and I ran out of dope that I brought with me. So now it's like, fuck, I got to find some dope. So I remember telling the people that I was working with, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go grab some lunch. And I just kind of took off walking. And I basically went walking until I found like
A
the,
hood?
yes, I'm trying to figure out how to put it like nicely. I found the most unpleasant corner for people to go to in the
Yeah.
area. And for me, that was the most pleasant corner I could find.
It's
And
like, this is what I was looking for.
dude,
Let's see.
I remember I had a fucking $150 in my pocket, and I walked in this. I remember seeing there was a liquor store, and there's people hanging out front. And I walk over there, and they look at me like, "Who the fuck are you, dude? You were in the wrong place." And I'm
Right.
like, I'm
No, I'm
looking,
not.
I'm like, I'm sick, and I'm looking to get high. And
You said sick or not?
yeah,
Like you're
I'm
dope
basically
sick. They
like,
know.
well, I just at first I said, hey, I'm looking to score, and the guy's like,
Okay.
man, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Right.
And I just looked at him and I'm like, dude, I just moved here. I'm fucking dope sick and I need to get fucking well. Can you help me out? And he just looks at me and I guess he saw the pain in my eyes or something.
Right.
He's like, come with me. So I fucking follow
He's
this
either
guy.
this guy's a good actor, he's getting
Yeah,
an
dude.
Oscar, man,
I'm thinking
or
to myself, I'm either gonna walk around this corner and get fucking shot and robbed, or I'm gonna get dope. So basically I
and both
follow
either
this.
one was fine for you, huh?
Either one at that point was fine because if I get shot, I'm fucking the pain's over with, and if I fucking get dope, then the pain's over with. So either way, I'm fucking scoring. And
Right.
dude takes me around the fucking corner, and we literally do. We walk through this series of trap fucking houses, things, abandoned fucking houses, fucking scary shit, dude. Like most people go, "What the fuck am I doing
Right.
here?"
The fourth
Me,
or
I'm
fifth
like,
turn
"Can we
in there,
fucking
you're
walk
like thinking
faster? Because I need
about
drugs."
walking back, and
Yeah,
yeah,
and
you're going deeper into it.
like,
Like
dude,
there's a
this is
sign above it that says "Abandon all hope, ye who enter" or some shit.
yeah, exactly, dude. And it's like that movie Candyman when they would go up into Cabrini Green and they're fucking walking through the fucking those rooms. That's what it was like, dude. And we're
Okay.
walking through this series of fucking like abandoned houses that you can tell are just fucking crack houses.
Right.
And dude, like I've at this point in my addiction, I've never experienced anything like this. So I'm trying to like use my tough guy persona and be like, okay, I'm not scared. In my mind, I'm going, fuck, dude, this is not right.
Right.
Anyway, dude takes me to this fucking. We walk through these houses and then we cross through this fucking like dirt alleyway and we walk up to the back of this one fucking house. And dude knocks on the fucking window. Other dude opens up the window and fucking he's like they kind of whisper back and forth, da da da.
Mm.
And guy looks at me. He's like, "How much money you got?" I'm like, "I got $150." He's like, "Give it to me." Sure, Mister. I'm trusting. Here's $150. And fucking dude hands me a fucking a gram. Well, it was basically like a gram and a half of fucking black tar heroin.
So
At
it was
this point,
heroin, though.
too.
Did you have any idea what it was going to be coming back? It could have been crack, meth, cocaine.
Well, no, I told him that I needed fucking dope, or I
Okay.
needed heroin. So
Right.
he knew what I
Okay.
was needing. But see, at this point, too, on the East Coast, it's mainly powder heroin out here. On the West Coast, it's all fucking tar heroin. So he hands me this fucking lump of it looks like a melted Tootsie Roll. And I'm
Right.
like, what the fuck do I do with this? I didn't know how to fucking use it at that point. I didn't know how to use that kind. I didn't know how to mix fucking tar heroin. I didn't know how to cook it down or nothing.
Right.
And so I'm looking at it and he's like, there you go. And I'm like, fucking, what do I do with this? And he's like, that's your fucking heroin. So basically, I had to kind of figure out at that point how to get said fucking heroin in my hand into my
Into
fucking
your
body.
needle.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I didn't have a needle at this point. I haven't shot up at this point. I've only fucking snorted it. And fucking, so we're walking back, and I'm like asking this fucking my new toothless friend here, what do I do with this? How do I get this in me? And fucking, he's like, you can fucking shoot it, or you can fucking, this or that. And he's like, you can smoke it. And I'm like, well, how do I smoke it? And fucking, he tells me how to smoke it.
With some
So
tinfoil or something.
yeah, so then at that point, I spent all my money on dope, so now I got to get fucking supplies. So
Yeah.
I had to go into the fucking Walgreens. I ended up stealing a roll of fucking aluminum foil, fucking pen so I can make a fucking straw and fucking da da da.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm walking out. I'm like, I'm stealing this stuff, and then I'm thinking to myself, well, how am I gonna fucking explain if I get fucking arrested for stealing aluminum foil and fucking some big pens? How do you explain that one? But so anyways, so I figured out fucking I've taken, I fucking put on the foil, and I smoked it, and just I remember the
How?
fucking
Then
relief
this
that
is
came
on
on.
a lunch break, though.
Yes, this is all within the span of about an hour and a half, and
Oh
because
man,
luckily the new dealer that I found, my new best friend, it was only about 3 blocks from where the fucking tattoo shop was at.
right?
So, um, you know, when
You didn't have
you
to go far.
no, I didn't have to go far. And when you start taking drugs, when you start snorting it, and then you fucking go to smoking it, when you do it a different way, it affects your body differently. So
Okay,
when I started smoking it, it was a lot more intense than when I was snorting it before. And now this also new
right.
heroin is a lot more intense. So now I'm at my new job. I'm
Because
happy
the
because I
other
got my
stuff you
heroin.
had probably had cut on it if it was powder. Is
Yeah,
that right?
yeah, exactly. And so, well, now I'm at my new job and I'm smoking it. So now I'm like taking naps a lot at work, and I was nodding out all the
That's a
fucking time.
telltale sign of a pillhead right there,
Oh
generally, as an
yeah.
owner.
So it lasted about another fucking 4 or 5 days of me being at that job before I got shit canned from that place
Right,
for fucking being high. So
right.
now it's like fuck. Now everybody knows. Now they know I'm a fucking junkie. Everybody at the shop knows I'm a junkie, and fucking
It'll
I got
spread
shit
around
canned
the
from the
whole
job.
town.
Yeah, dude. So it's like I couldn't get a job anywhere else because I'm a junkie now, and I don't want to leave the fucking my new drug neighborhood. So I just ended up
Because you
becoming
can't
fucking
move too far from your dealer, and you just
exactly,
got one.
exactly. So
Oh my god!
I got my new fucking dealer, and dude, I remember. You know what the fuck guy's nickname was that I fucking met? His name was Hot Shot. And you would think that when you meet a fucking dude named Hot Shot on a corner, he's probably not going to be the best friend for you to have for a while.
Yeah,
So,
most friends you meet on a corner.
yeah. Note to self, kids: do not meet friends on corners.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
so I ended up fucking just that's where I became homeless, man. And there was
Fort
some
Worth,
other things that
Texas.
what's that? Fort Worth, Texas, yes.
Fort Worth,
And there was a
Texas.
series of other things that just and that's the point where I just gave up, dude. And I just fucking just let my addiction take over. And you know, so I'm living in Fort Worth for a while, and I get a phone call or I get a message one day on Facebook because I still had a cell phone. I could still fucking check my Facebook and stuff. And it was my old apprentice that I had up in Virginia at my shop was working in Austin at the time,
And he's
and
probably doing good, huh?
he's starting to get into tattooing. He's starting to do pretty decent. He's working at a shop and stuff. And so
Austin's still 3.5 hours away, and at
right,
least maybe even
right.
6.
So so he's down in Austin, and he sends me a message, and I'm kind of talking to him for a couple of days and let him know what's going on with me. And basically, he messages me one day, and he's like, "Look, man," he goes, I can't let you live like this." He goes, "You got too much talent. You've got too much fucking, you're too good for this. So he's like, I'm going to come up there and get you, and you're going to come down here and stay with me in Austin." And so basically, fucking long story short, a couple days later, fucking he drove up from Austin, pours me in the backseat of his fucking car, and drives me to fucking back down to Austin. And I mean, he kind of saved my life from fucking getting worse at that point. Because if I wouldn't have gotten, if I would have stayed there, I would have been dead, dude. I would have been fucking a statistic. And
Had you
he
already so were your all 3 of your overdoses were in
no,
Fort
no, no, no,
Worth?
no, 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 no. This is still early on in my addiction that he fucking came and picked me up and brought me down to Austin.
Oh fuck,
And
you went back after this.
oh yeah, dude, I went back. I
I
tried to clean.
gotcha.
I tried to clean my life up a little bit at that
Right.
point,
And
which
then you got
lasted
everything perfect to do it again, and you're like,
exactly,
this time
exactly.
I'm
So
not gonna do it the bad way though.
right. So now it's like I'm living in Austin, and he got me a job at the shop that he was working at, and he gave me some equipment and fucking cleaned me up, and so now I'm like starting to tattoo again, and I'm starting to make money again, and I'm starting to like do okay again. and so at this point it was like, I'm starting to do okay again, so I'm kind of like downplaying my addiction a little bit, and I'm like, just using enough to where I'm not getting sick and I'm not having to go through all that shit again. But
So even though when you quit, you were still using enough to not get sick. You never really did the
at
whole
this point,
kick
yeah, yeah,
bit,
yeah. At that point, yeah. And
which
so
is a bargaining process. Am I wrong? To where you're like you're bargaining, where you know that it's bad and it's killing you, and it's making it worse, and you're
right,
just having to do little bits and little bits more. But
right,
you're telling yourself this is okay.
exactly,
And then
exactly.
I'm guessing you also sometimes you're like, well, it's the weekend, so
I can use a little more.
am I wrong?
And no, that's pretty much, you're pretty much right on the fucking nail on the head. And yeah, so it was like, I started, kind of justifying it in my head, and it was okay. And so people down here,
Uh-oh.
hold on, are you there?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sorry, the phone slipped. Um, so now I'm like, I'm working again, I'm tattooing again, and I start using just a little bit at this point. And as any addict knows, is you build up that tolerance, and then you got to use a little more and a little more and a little more and a little more and a little more. And again, long story short, the same thing fucking happens, man. It's like I
Yeah.
start using more, and then I'm nodding out at fucking work, and this and that, and I got fired from that fucking place, and so now it's like I got to kind of fucking. I still don't get clean and sober yet. I still don't fucking realize that I have that big of a
Well,
problem yet.
did you try to kick a little again to
No,
okay.
no, not at all. It was still, I was just, I just was using less than I did before, so it was okay. And
Yeah. Still more
and then,
bargaining.
yep. And then next thing, before I know it, man, I'm a fucking full blown fucking addict again. And I'm fucking can't hold down a job, and fucking using fucking left and right. And then I
And
have another.
during that time, then it's everybody else's fault too, right?
Oh, this whole time it's somebody else's fault. It's still not
So
my fault yet.
was it your apprentice who saved you? Was it his fault for some time? Or
No,
was
no,
it
no.
someone else at the shop?
No, it was well now, because I met this girl. I'm blaming all this on a girl now.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I meet this fucking girl, and
Everything was fine until you came
yeah,
into my life. Tried to
exactly.
make me get off the heroin I love so much.
Well, no, she accepted the heroin, so that was the
Oh
problem.
shit. Yeah, fuck her then.
Yeah, dude, she was like, "Oh no, it's fine that you're using. It's okay. Just don't do it in front of me or whatever." Blah blah blah. So
Wow.
yeah, dude, it because I was
She's
surrounding
not the
myself with
smartest
fucking.
person.
No, she wasn't. She was really cute
Okay.
though. Gosh, she was
I'm
fucking
figuring,
hot.
or I'm putting you on fucking hung like a fucking horse, man. Because how do you get a girl to bargain like that? A little bit of
Right,
heroin's okay, just
right.
not in front of me.
Well,
And
because
I
I was
think,
feeding her meth, so she was fucking
oh,
it.
okay,
She was whacked out on the meth. So the meth was okay, but it was the heroin that was bad.
yeah, man,
So
drugs will make some weird bedfellows,
dude,
won't it?
I'm telling you, bro. Listen, man, it's fucking hilarious because like people that use meth are like, man, fuck heroin addicts, man, fucking heroin's disgusting, it's fucking junk. And heroin addicts are like, fuck people that use meth. Meth is fucking, they're a bunch of tweakers, and they fucking take radios apart for fucking no. Dude, neither one of you guys is doing anything good, okay? You guys
Yeah,
both
but
use shit, and you're putting garbage in your fucking bodies.
we
Stop.
need someone to be better than, right?
Right? So it just it fucking
I always bring it
it cracks
down
me up.
to skateboarders and rollerbladers at the
You
skate
know what?
park.
Exactly, dude. There's this fucking hilarious thing on fucking YouTube. It's crystal meth versus marijuana, the great debate. And it's the fucking like this animation thing, and it has like this weed guy and this fucking little guy that looks like a meth shard, and they fucking sitting there and they're debating why one's better than the other. It's fucking hilarious. If you get a chance, watch. Um, but yeah, man, it's just it blows me away, dude. When you're on drugs, the shit you justify that is okay. Dude, I watched a girl one time blow a fucking pit bull for $10 crack rock. True story. Yeah. And
Just
silence
edit
started.
that part out.
Dude, I've seen some fucking
That's
shit,
real.
man. I've seen some fucking shit.
And so that also means that somebody else was just doing that because they had that they knew they had that control.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, unless someone's like, no, that's the shit that gets me off, man. You got to blow my dog. I
No, no,
love
no,
it.
dude. I was at this dealer's house one time, man. He was this big old fucking big time fucking like gangster,
Uh,
dude.
and he was
He
just
was
having fun treating people
dude.
like dogs, like property.
It was sad. It was really sad. And she was this cute like little college girl looking chick, and she came over the house. He's like, dude, watch this, man. Fucking. She comes in the room. He's like, bitch, you know what to fucking do. And he takes his fucking, he had like one of them big stocky fucking pit bulls. He grabs the pit bull by the fucking neck and pulls the pit bull up. So he's like standing on his back legs, and the bitch gets down there and fucking starts blowing it. Oh my god, dude, I cried. I literally fucking cried after that. I felt like I had to go jump in an autoclave. It was
And
fucking disturbing.
but you continued to get your drugs from that dealer.
Oh yeah, because he was a good dealer. He had good prices. Um, so yeah, I never had to blow the pit bull. She had to do it, but it was okay. But yeah, it's just the shit you deem fucking okay, man. It
Right,
blows me
right.
away.
At any point you should wake up. For me, I had I think a sobering moment when I went over to my dealer's house, and everything over there. I always kind of had this bougie idea, kind of like, well, I'm using it for this fun thing for
Right,
exploring my mind for artistic reasons, blah
right,
blah blah.
right.
All my justifications. I go over to my dealer's house. It's a fucking putrid mess of just
Yeah,
the worst shit ever, right?
yeah.
And little baby running around with a diaper is like so full,
Oh
and
God,
a
dude.
litter of puppies that just give birth. And I get
Mm,
my meth, and I'm gonna go back home, and I'm getting ready to put it all together, and I never slammed it, thank God.
right.
Um, but I'm getting my paraphernalia and everything, and I look down at my ankles, and they're moving, like the hairs are moving. And I look, and there's just like
Oh,
a million little baby fleas, like that I had just, like, my house was clean, but I
right.
just slept with dogs and woke up with fleas 100%. And like I had to spray like my house,
Yeah,
I mean, so like that was not that that was when I quit necessarily, man. It seems like it was right within that week though. There's
yeah,
just that realization. I was like, I am that. I
yeah.
am everything that I act like I'm not.
Right.
I'm in every bit support of. So where's this take you? These are your overdoses though, in Fort Worth.
Well, I
What
had
does it
one
take
overdose in
to
Fort
kind of
Worth,
smack you out of it? Mm-hmm.
and then I moved to Austin and fucking shit. Same story in Austin, man. And fucking ruined everything out there. And then I went from Austin to where did I go? Austin to South Carolina. South Carolina, same story. I mean, it was just for years, dude. It was the same
You walk
thing.
into the hood again to you just
It was
went to
basically,
the
well, basically what it is, man. When you move, you're like, okay, I'm going to run away from my problems. I'm going to go somewhere and start over, right?
right,
Well,
but
when
that
you're a drug
sickness
addict,
is there.
dude, you run over and you go someplace new, and when you're starting over, you're finding a new dealer and a new place to fucking, that's your starting over. And so
Right.
I went from, going from fucking Texas to fucking South Carolina. No matter where you move, it's the same fucking story, and that's what it was. It was the same fucking band of events, and it took me going from when I was in South Carolina, I met a girl and I fell in love, dude. I fell in love and I still am in love with her to this day. And we ended up getting pregnant and we had a baby boy. And it took everything that I went through, going to jail, going to prison, dude, fucking every dumpster ate out of every fucking thing. When I looked in my newborn son's eyes and held him, dude, that for me was it. That was it. That was when I was done. And he's 2 years old now, and I'm almost 2 years clean. And it took that having a son to get my
That's
shit together,
awesome. I mean,
And
it's not awesome it took that, but it's awesome that it was able to have that profound effect.
you know what though, I wouldn't change a moment of anything that I went through or anything that I did. I wouldn't change any of it for anything because everything made me who I am and the father that I am now. And
And currently you're feeling appreciative as hell of life, you even say.
dude, and when I got clean, it I'll say this, man, getting clean and kicking dope was not I'm gonna get fucking shit for this, but it was not as hard as I fucking thought it was gonna be. I would rather go through 2 weeks, 3 weeks of fucking sheer pain and hell to get
Mm-hmm.
clean than I would to live a lifetime on dope. You know, it 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 was so just going through that fucking shit and going through that sickness and fucking realizing that I'm gonna be able to be a good father and I'm gonna be a good husband and I'm gonna be a good fucking man. That's what my drive was, and
You had so you didn't really kick until he was born too. Then
yeah, like when he
you
was
didn't
born.
go
Well,
through the
because when he was
sickness.
born, my house got raided by the feds, and by the fucking
Ooh.
police department, and when my house got raided, my girl was pregnant at the
What were they
time.
looking for? Some of Trump's classified docs there.
They were looking for some crystal meth and some heroin and some other things.
So at
Because
this point, were you dealing too, or
oh yeah, dude. At this point,
okay?
dude, I mean, I started dealing, and I took, some people take that like that drug addict gangster life, and they're like, okay, I took it to the fucking limit, dude. I became that guy. I became a fucking gangster and a fucking drug dealer and a fucking,
What kind of
tattooing.
cards
I
you
didn't
have?
I, I didn't tattoo anymore. I fucking carried a gun now and sold fucking dope and fucking,
Right.
kick doors and all that shit, dude. And so I became that.
Scarface.
Yeah, I became that guy, dude.
Were
And,
you
and
pimped out and stuff? You mean too, or was this all going? Your proceeds were all going to your habit.
no, I mean, I was fucking selling the drugs, so I was getting my shit for free now, and fucking, I didn't have to pay for drugs anymore because I was supplying them and I was making money
Okay.
and paying my rent and paying my bills and fucking doing, so
Hard to stay on top of that, but you must have had a lot of money coming in. Were you also? You must have been bartering
I was
at
moving a
that point.
lot of weight too. I was moving a lot of fucking shit. I mean, I
Right
wasn't
on.
like just like, buying a half
So,
ounce here and
yeah,
selling
which
it. I was
also
fucking,
means you were either a beacon for a lot of people, or you're
yes.
dealing with some pretty rotten elements that were then
I was
breaking it
dealing
down
with,
further.
yeah, I was dealing with some fucking, I was buying fucking crystal meth by the pound. I was buying heroin by the fucking, you know, 4 or 5 ounces at a
A
time.
little's good, so a lot, I guess,
Yeah.
is better. But
I had a team of people working for me and the
mm-hmm.
whole fucking gamut, you
And
know,
prestige, even I mean, at one point, right? So now, I mean, you kind of feel, and you've already seen some of the worst things that this power of that kind of dealing can do.
right. But
So now,
I
now
tried to
you're
I
kind
tried
of
to be
like,
a dealer with a heart, I guess you could say. I never fucking really I never put people through that kind of
right.
shit. But
Well, that's
yeah,
going to
I mean,
suffer from that person's own weakness to, or that's going to stem. I mean,
right.
psychologically, supposedly, if all the shrinks is right, then that's
Yeah.
coming from that person's own weakness
I'm
and
gonna
his
say
own
that
frailty
girl,
of life. Mm.
I'm gonna go with that girl was probably touched by somebody at some point, and you know, she's got some fucking deep rooted issues to where she can do something like that to blow a fucking dog.
Well, I mean,
But
heroin's a fucking mighty powerful drug.
it
If
is,
that's,
it is.
and I know that there's, I mean, in jail, I was on trustee floor and I was inquisitive and
Mhm.
I'm friendly kid and we're on trustee floor, so nobody's
I love being a
fighting.
trustee.
Yes. And trustee, yeah, because it's just like, no, nobody's fucking up their good time, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. You're,
And
you're a
people will
trustee. You
fight.
got things. You got things made in there. You're doing okay.
Yeah. Someone starts fighting you while you're mopping or something, you're just like you
Hmm.
back away and you're just like, not me.
Yep.
Uh-uh. Don't know
Yep.
what you're talking about. That's
Yep.
y'all's fucking because I'm getting out
Exactly.
here and I know when.
And you got your coffee and you got your fucking soups. Your locker's
Yeah.
full. You're good.
Oh yeah, and we got double sugar Kool-Aid. So
Oh,
what's up
dude,
now?
I used to run the kitchen in Williamson County Jail in fucking Texas, man.
Mm.
Dude, you get fucking double portions of fucking food, boy.
Yeah.
Like the rest of the fucking pawns over there in the fucking blocks. You get to fucking eat.
Uh, our eggs are only a little gray.
Dude, I used to smuggle fucking Velveeta cheese up to the fucking
Uh-oh.
dorms, dude. We used to fucking sneak so much shit. God damn,
How would
dude.
you get it up there? You had guards that knew that you lie or
No,
you're
man, we used to
working through
fucking.
laundry.
Well, you did have friends in laundry. That's how we ran the mail through there and the drugs. But
Mm-hmm.
no, we used to fucking like tie shit to your dick, dude, and fucking you push
Yeah.
it down your pants, you fucking push it in your boots, and fucking find innovative ways. smuggle all
They
kinds.
sent a kid up one time and he got busted, and then everybody was on like time out for a little bit. He got fucked
Right?
up.
Yeah,
But man, he had like there was the hot pocket type things, and man,
yeah,
of course that's something you want. He
right.
stuffed his whole fucking his oranges. Like it just walking like a Pillsbury Doughboy would or something, going up the elevator, and then had laundry in there too, and
Right?
then a bunch in that. So it looked like he had one pair of you can't go walking around with several pair of laundries. So you might be able
No,
to get by with one pair of
right.
oranges, but there's so much shit stuffed in there. It's like, come on.
He's walking, it's all fucking
Like I
mirrors
feel
rustling
like
back and forth in the legs.
I, oh man,
We used to
it
fuck,
was
dude. We used to fucking remember how like you peg tie your pants at the bottom when you cuff them, like
mhm.
in the '80s. How you do them real tight.
Yeah,
You do that
yeah,
real fucking tight, man. You can fucking put shit down your pants and they wouldn't fall out the bottoms because they're all fucking tied up there.
right.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. We used to fucking dude. You know what's good money in there and nobody thought of for the longest time is, fucking
I don't even
cut.
want to know.
No,
I don't
the
want to know
fucking
how to make it in there anymore.
that shit, that fucking seasoning shit you put on your fucking fruit and stuff. It's big like in Mexico and like
Okay,
what is it called? The
it
chamoy or something like that.
keeps it fresh or something or not,
No, no, no. It's
or is
like
it just for
it's
taste?
like basically what it is like chili, salt, chili powder, salt, and like lime powder.
Okay,
And it's a seasoning, and it was a
yeah.
seasoning that we would make, and we'd fucking dude, we'd sell that shit up in the dorms, dude. That shit is like fucking gold, bro. People go fucking batshit because you don't get salt, you don't get fucking pepper up there, you don't get fucking any
Right.
spices or anything. So
Yep.
any kind of fucking
So you
thing
guys
that
would
you,
make it on trustee floor. You guys would make
yeah.
it
So
out of what you
when we
had
were in the yeah when we were in the kitchen, we'd make the fucking spices, dude. We'd fill up these
and send
fucking
it up.
big plastic
How
bags, man. You fucking tie them to your
uh,
leg, and then
how
you
the hell did
fucking
us two
go up, man.
convicts? Let's stop talking about this. I don't like it no more. Fuck this shit. I don't need to know nothing
Let's talk
about
about
that life.
recipes we can make with ramen.
No, that's just as bad. Let's
I'm
not
with you
talk
there.
about collecting soot to make ink. You know,
No,
let's
we know
not talk
nothing
about
about how to tattoo
toothpaste
in jail.
tattoos.
God, dude. You
These
know what?
poor kids now, what do? That like you can't get a cassette deck. You have to use big old
Dude,
heavy clippers.
they make tattoo machines out of with water now. It's like a
What?
fucking a high dude. I saw this the other day.
Oh, to make the needle. No, to make the needle, right?
No, to run the fucking machine, they use water. Okay, so they have like a what? I don't know exactly how they do it, but they have like a water line
And
that
you're on some
and
bullshit.
dude, I
What?
swear to God, you can
A
look this shit
water
up,
line.
dude. It's like
Uh-huh.
a fucking hydro fucking tattoo machine. I
In
swear on
jail.
my fucking kid, dude.
No,
Yes,
not
because they have,
in jail.
dude. They have the fucking listen. They have like the
They
water line that
have the
runs through, and somehow
technology.
they, dude, look it up. And
Ha!
somehow they route the water to the fucking machine, and they run the water runs over this thing like a fucking paddle wheel, and it fucking makes the fucking
Okay.
thing spin.
Yeah,
Dude, I
like a
swear to God,
turbine of some sort.
yes. And it's fucking tattoo machines run by water.
Oh wow.
I don't do drugs anymore, so I know I wasn't tripping when I saw this. I swear to God, dude.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm putting you in that category. I was like, I don't know what this guy's been
They were
smoking.
smoking some shit. No, I swear to God,
Water
I
tattoos, you don't
I
say.
promise you, dude. I saw this somewhere on something. Somewhere. Yeah,
So maybe they could get an engine that was a pump, and then they had
it's
something they made into a turbine. I mean, that's kind of what those pneumatic ones were.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
the
and
pneumatic
that's
one
kind of
would
what it
run
was.
with water.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's they run it with water, dude.
it
I
seems like there
don't know how
you
they
would
do
want to you would, I guess you would cycle it, huh? You would have to cycle it. So it'd have to come out of the machine too and back into the pump and
it.
just
I don't
keep
know.
on going. As long as you could get a
Yeah, so
pump, you
some
could do it probably.
right. So yeah,
Weird
there's
as hell.
some way that they do this with water.
I got a
I don't know,
pneumatic machine,
but
an
yeah.
old one from back in the
So anyway,
day. So I can hook it up
did you ever
with an air
use
hose and
those?
blow into it. Yeah. Well, no, I did use one once.
Really?
Captain Spaulding.
Yeah.
Captain Spaulding from House of
Yeah.
Thousand Corpses, whatever. So he's in Miami one time, and somebody decides that they want to do the world's largest tattoo collab. And there's some idiot
Right.
that's like, yeah, I'm down for it. And then everybody signs up and they all just start tattooing. And I signed up only because they had a Numa and I wanted to try it out. They had one of
Right.
them pneumatic ones. So I tried it out. It was cool. It was a little bit slow, but it was
Right,
really smooth and consistent. And I didn't realize how important that was back then,
right,
Um,
right,
because I had so many theories in how machines were supposed to run in my head. But then Captain
right.
Spaulding, he did a part of that tattoo too. So I've done a collab with Captain Spaulding.
You mean Sid Haig, the guy that played Captain
Yep.
Spaulding?
Yes. Yep.
Oh
Sig.
wow, that's pretty
I was pretty
pretty
yeah,
interesting.
I don't know.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, whatever of that.
You know what's funny too is like a lot of people, especially newer tattooers, don't realize that rotaries have been around for a long time. Because if you look
Oh, there
back at
was
it,
old patents.
remember
There's
fucking
super old patents on them. And
dude,
the first
dude
even the
fucking
coil machine was actually a rotary. It
started
was like
out
a
a
coil
rotary. Yeah, yeah.
that pulled the a
But
wheel down.
but if you
Magnetic.
look at if hold on one sec. Hey, I'm still doing this podcast. I'm still doing this podcast. Give me a couple minutes. Okay, you got my yes, we're on. There you go. Well, I'll be right in. No, a lot of people don't realize though that fucking the old Spalding Rogers catalogs used to sell a rotary machine that they
Called the
marketed
Revolution.
called the Revolution that they
Mm-hmm.
marketed towards animal tattooing, where you could fucking tattoo like your animals and shit.
Okay.
Is how they did it. I think that's how they did it. But yeah, it was the Revolution tattoo machine that they used, and it came in a little box, and you had like your little machine in there, and it had all kinds of fucking gizmos with it.
I
Yeah,
remember it. I
yeah,
was then I had asked people about it, and in the industry, the common response from anybody that I respected was, "Oh, fuck that thing, man."
yeah. Oh, fucking nobody's ever gonna use rotaries. Those are garbage. They'll never come.
I don't even think they called it a rotary. I was
Yeah,
like, "What the hell kind of contraption is this?" Because you couldn't see nothing on it. It was just one
right.
box,
Yeah.
and like I think also like the needle bar in it. It feels like you had
The
to
needle
screw it
bar
in
was the
like you,
needle. It was like a
yeah,
sharpened needle bar, is basically what it was.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like it didn't have the hook, the round part, right? The eyelet.
Right.
You
Right.
had to use just a straight thing and then tie it in there, which probably that was probably one of the most beneficial parts, not having to use rubber bands.
Right.
Having that thing straight hooked up to or it could have
Right.
been. I don't know who was using it. There's probably a couple of people who are like, I fucking love this thing.
Oh yeah. Somebody somewhere has it.
Because in
And
theory, it shouldn't have been bad, except it probably was a like a 570 motor and
right.
like a little race car motor, not a
Yeah.
brushless at all.
Right.
It was a brushed motor.
Right.
Oh, listen, like I'm boring my fans at home. Let's get back into why let's get
Okay.
back into getting off of drugs at least, because I think we're about to see the light. Your horizon has definitely changed
Right.
now, so I know that
So
you made it through the tunnel.
yeah, my life went to complete shit, and basically then I had my son Roman, and the most beautiful fucking creation I've ever seen in my life, man. And it I went and I got clean, and you know, it wasn't like I just went and got clean, like bought it at the store. It took some time,
No,
but
you got a week or so usually, at least, right? Of like your
oh
head
yeah,
not feeling right,
I
your
went
gut
through,
literally puking.
yeah, I went through some fucking hell, man. And it's your bones hurt, dude. Your whole body, dude. I remember just laying in bed. I couldn't sleep. Just laying in bed, kicking my legs back and forth. I rubbed all the fucking hair off my legs.
Uh,
It was horrible. It was fucking horrible. But like I said, man, I'd rather go through that than live a lifetime of a slave.
were,
And
were there people around you at the time that were helping you through that with this?
yeah, there was, the COs were there, and
Okay, you were
the
locked up.
oh yeah, I was locked up when I kicked.
Did you turn yourself in to kick or something? You
No,
had a
so
warrant.
oh, I
What
didn't
was
I
it?
didn't finish the story. So, anyways, the fucking cops come raid my house. My girl's pregnant, so when the cops raided my house, fucking, there was searching the whole house, this and that. My girl starts going into fucking labor,
Oh
and
my fucking god!
so my girl goes, she's going into labor, and the cops
Water
being nice,
breaks, that kind of shit.
yeah, dude, like full blown fucking labor. So basically, my girl
Did
goes to
they
fucking the
believe her?
hospital. Well, yeah, because they're sitting there watching her. So
Okay.
fucking
Yeah,
my
but like you could be like, man, this is a slick. She just threw a cup of water on the floor, and then it's like,
right.
oh my god, no, stop the raid.
No. They like they because when they raid your house, they don't just let you walk around. Fucking they're got you in the
Yeah.
corner, fucking at gunpoint. So they're fucking,
And
she's
that
like,
baby was like, fuck it, I'm out of here.
dude, Roman's like, fucking, I'm coming out, man. And so she starts going into labor. So they take her to the fucking hospital and they take me to jail. Um, well, fucking, when they took me to jail, fucking, I wasn't technically there for the birth of my son. But what happened was my mom bonds me out of jail. Um, and so I get bonded out on, these fucking like restrictions kind of things, basically. So,
Right. Pre-trial.
well, yeah, and there was other things involved too. And so
Okay.
basically, the cops wanted me to basically work for them. And so I get out on bond. I go to the hot. I literally got out. I had my dealer pick me up. My dealer takes me to the fucking hospital where my son was just born. Hands me a little bag of dope so I can get well. Right. Takes me to
Mm-hmm.
the fucking hospital where my son's fucking born. I walk in there. I see my son, and for me, that was just a huge life changing moment. Um, and so at this point, I'm like, you know what? I need to get fucking clean. I need to get off fucking drugs, dude. I need to fucking quit the way I'm doing things. Blah blah
You
blah.
didn't do that dope then? Your
No, I did the
dealer?
dope. I did the dope.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
You
I
did
wasn't
it
wasting
before you held your son or after?
I hate to say this, dude. Before, and it's
Well, I
it's a
mean, it
it's
makes
a
more
shitty thing to
sense
say,
for the
but
story, really, don't
you
it?
know,
Right?
and so yes, and sorry, I'm getting a little like emotional talking about this, but so anyways, so I go to the hospital, and over the next few days, my son's, still in the hospital now. He was born because me and my girl were both using at the time. Um, he was born addicted, and he had to be in the NICU, and he had to kick in there. Oh god, I fucking hate telling this, dude. And it was really hard. It was very very fucking hard to go through, and
Biggest wake up call you had yet. You weren't
yeah,
going to do it
it
for your life, but after
really
you
it
really
really was.
realize
It
that this
really was a wake up.
disease is taking down the things you love, even the
Yeah,
things like you try not to love your family at some point as an addict so that you don't take them down. You walk
right,
away a lot of times,
right,
and then the addiction has easier time with you because it's like, now I've got you to myself.
right,
But then something like this, you really have to take in a moment and realize that my addiction is causing me to even need it before I go and hold my child.
right.
And I'm looking at possibly never being able to see this child because I might not be
Mhm.
free.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it's a very sobering thing, dude. It really is. And so and basically over the next few days, I'm not abiding to my restrictions of my bond, and so I end up getting
By doing
rearrested.
drugs or by associating with criminals?
Kind of that, and uh, working with police officers, and narking on people and doing all that kind of stuff because I'm not going to snitch on people. Blah blah blah. So
Okay. Because, yeah, they wanted you to work for them right away.
yeah,
They're going to
basically
start
because they
climbing the
knew.
ladder.
Yeah, so they knew that I was big time. They knew that I knew big time and fucking blah blah blah. So, anyways, they rearrest me like 4 days after my son's born. Um, so I go back to jail, and this is where I'm like, you know what? Fuck this, dude. I'm done. I am fucking done. And I had to serve like 6 more months. Um, so I go to jail. Fucking, I kick dope bomb in there. Um, I start making changes in myself and changes in my thought process and my life, and I start going to meetings inside. Um, in the meantime, my girl, she couldn't do it on her own. So we end up losing our house. We end up losing our fucking everything. So now it's like here she's got a newborn son. Her old man's in jail. What does she
She's
do?
homeless.
So she moves back up to New Jersey where her parents are.
Family. Okay.
Her family to go be with her family and help take care
Did
of our son.
did she
Um,
already kick at this point? Or is she still
yeah. So
trying to
yeah.
use her own family? Okay.
She's done.
Thank
And
God.
then so I get out, and I tell her like when I get out, I'm going to come up to Jersey and be a dad, and so I got out
Which
of
has
jail.
got to have the in-laws excited.
Oh no, her in-laws her parents hate me, dude. Her parents fucking hate me.
Still currently. Right
Oh
on.
yeah, dude. We're never gonna get along, dude. Because in their eyes,
Well,
I'm just
not with
nothing
that
but a
attitude.
junkie. In her, in their parents' eyes, I'm nothing but a junkie convict. So
Well, you know
whatever.
what? We're all junkie convicts of some
Yeah,
sort. I don't know. I mean, you get to be it, but I don't know.
Yeah.
You start to you build faith. That's
Right.
saying, and eventually they have to, by logic, see a change.
Right. And, and
And
and they
as
will,
long as you invite them to always be looking
Right.
for the flaws, because you're like, honestly, you guys might be the first to catch me up on some shit.
Yeah.
And it ain't the easiest to run this straight and narrow. Sometimes,
No.
you get some problems and you might want to go walk to the hood.
Right. You're right. You're right. And I hope that eventually one day, they can. They're very just judgmental people, dude. I don't want to down talk them too much or anything like that, but
No,
we have our differences, and so so she moves up here. She's doing good, and she's got our son. She's raising our son. I get out of jail, and as soon as I got out of jail, within a couple of days, man, I fucking got a ride up here and moved up to Jersey, and just been trying to be a dad, man, and now I'm sober. I'm fucking off the
two
fucking
years.
heroin. I'm off the heroin. And I'm fucking up here and fucking working my butt off and doing really fucking good. And
And ready to join the church and become a fisher of men, it sounds
okay,
like.
just don't go there, dude. Okay, we're not
You
joining
got such
churches
a
yet.
great testimony, man. My testimony don't got me slamming nothing. So like,
We're not
we need
joining
some
churches yet,
deacons.
but
You know what when Jesus was like thugged up, right?
yeah, a
Like
little bit.
he didn't go out and be like, I found me a bunch of pansies to go hang out and fucking do hippie shit. We
Do
go
hippie
hug
shit.
trees and tell the Caesar not to deforest. He fucking went out and got like the fishermen that people were like, nah, we don't want him on the boat.
Yeah.
you know,
He said I can make you fishers of men.
yeah, yeah, but and then and they did. He's like, listen, we got a message. And sometimes you need a higher power, you need faith. Maybe this is it. I'm just telling you, it's out there for you, brother.
Right,
You got the Church of Jesus Christ with faith to follow, and you don't have to change any of your beliefs because we already
right,
know. Well, you do, maybe, perhaps you do. I think number one, when we really base down anything and we recognize that we are all from the same material, then we can also then recognize that we all should have love, one for
right,
ourselves, and since
right.
we're also
True.
from the same material, for everyone else. So this is
Right,
the basis of Christianity that I will look into it, and it
right,
works really well with me when I think namaste. So like the divine light in me sees, recognizes, honors the divine light in you. Like
right,
if I recognize everybody as being made by my creator, then even if he believes in a different creator, even if he believes in fucking Satan being like his dude, like the opposite of whatever I might imagine my creator, although I don't know necessarily want to think that there's a Satan because that's just weird. But at any rate, if there is that, then how can I hate that guy? Because he's
right.
mistaken? I
No.
can't understand war between religions if I apply the actual teachings of a God that loves his creation.
Okay.
It would be more important for me to as I see listen to this. There's this awesome album that mixed a lot of hip hop artists with old Bob Marley songs.
Right.
Um, and in one of them, there's just some beat down fucking reggae dudes, saying some shit. And there was like dropping knowledge. And one guy says, when you Rasta win, you no more war. And I think that all the time because if you kill somebody who offends you, who says your God isn't the real God, now you're like, my God's a sensitive God, and he don't like being told he's not real. So I'm gonna go ahead and kill you. Well, that guy's kids grow up
Mm-hmm.
and then they kill you. And that's not
Right.
what your God could ever want because he wants you to have an abundant life. And if he wants you to have abundant life, then he obviously wants that even for your enemies. And we're supposed to love our enemies, right? So what
Right.
he's saying then, I believe, is when you win, you actually win with no more war. Now, how could we affect to where we could have no more war? Well, I don't kill that man. Instead of him being my enemy, now I need to love, honor, and respect and see the divine light in him. And
Right.
in that case, I have a friend. Then when I have a friend, I Rasta win because I no more war.
Right. Okay.
Oh,
I,
that's where
I,
I'm
I,
going with it.
okay. I get. You know what? And you might make me change my beliefs with those
Right on,
words.
because
Mike,
dude, man, imagine the faith you're going to walk in when you're like, yeah, man, tax-free
you
property.
know,
This
tax
giving
free.
me 10% of his.
I'm like,
You know, I
who's
mean,
giving
you
me some
study in the
money?
church long enough, you got to go and start your own church somewhere, right?
Who's
So
giving me some dollars?
yeah, it's well, who's helping me build faith? See, you're looking at it wrong way. That's a greedy way to
Oh,
look at it. Uh,
well,
I started a church when I was a kid. Like,
did
I
you
mean,
really like?
I didn't.
Are you legit? Like, you really started a church?
Well, I mean, I've got two sermons,
Are
and
you serious? Really? Okay.
yeah, and I'm doing this in the same exact ideal that I told you.
All
I'm
right.
doing it with to see
Got me
faith. And
listening now. You got my
well, listen,
attention
my
now.
my pastor was a drug addict inside of
Right.
GM. He made enough money to never really become an addict, I guess. Right? He didn't have an
Right.
addiction problem because he had money. But he and his wife broke up. He wanted to change his life, and he did. He started having prayer meetings inside of his garage. Those
Mm-hmm.
people started to bring tithe because it was walking in faith. Tithe shows that you walk in faith. So they would give 10% of their money. He didn't need to work at GM anymore. He just had to work on a sermon every week. He had 10, 20 people showing up, but he didn't have the room for him in his garage anymore. So my family comes in and they're excited to be a part of this grassroots kind of, oh, I heard about this church starting up.
Mm-hmm.
They purchased this building, piece of crap over on the south side of Flint. And then I come in as a child, I'm polishing chairs and shit. We got little folding chairs, cold ass fucking seats. We're painting the walls, not like that. You got to go in long motions. Damn, these kids fucking everything up. There's my parents are doing real work. We're doing the
Right.
busy work, and we build this church, and then we come to it, and every week we see the congregation grow. There's 30, 40, 50. That guy is
Right.
now retired. By the end of it, he had 500 plus people giving him 10% of their yearly incomes. Now, if I think about him, right, he was the most faithful Christian I'd ever seen. It was disgusting. It was like
Right.
dripping off him like syrup, how much faith he had that the Lord would do shit. But I also remember one time when his faith must have diminished because he put the plate around twice.
Right.
At the beginning of the sermon,
And at the end.
everything seemed fine. And then at the end of the sermon, he said he didn't believe that the people paid what the Lord had put on their hearts. My dad
Mm.
stood up and was not happy.
Right.
And he said, if you got to pay your rent, then maybe the Lord has put it on you to test you in some other manner than
Okay.
to put a conviction on other people. And in
Right.
that kind of, I always play that back to my head. I think, man, that was the best day of my life because we got to leave church a little early.
Leave church a little early.
It was so boring, right? It's so
Right.
fucking
I
boring.
hated church growing up. I hated it.
Oh, you were in Catholic church. It was like
Oh
doing
God.
squats for you.
It was like sit, stand, kneel, sit, stand, kneel, sit, stand, kneel, shake a hand, sing a song, go home. You know.
Yeah.
And God. I
What
did the
about
PCD classes. I did the whole fucking thing, man. The whole fucking thing. Oh, it was rough.
yeah. See, and then you get the idea that you can never benefit. See, the faith in Catholic church, it just has to be there. It doesn't grow easy. In this
Right.
in this charismatic church that my pastor had, the faith could grow for him because he literally saw God working. Like he used to have a job, and
Right.
his faith in the Lord, he didn't have a job anymore. All he had to do was fucking put up a pool for his kids. It paid for his divorce from his wife who was still addicted. It started paying for his house and his car. He had
Wow.
property, tax-free property. How much faith did he end up having? Well, fuck that much. Right?
Yeah.
He had
Well,
Kenneth Copeland amounts. Imagine if we're flying around in jets one time, right? You
geez.
and I are going to have some faith.
I will have some faith. I will.
Right?
You know,
You
you got me
listening?
thinking, bro. You got me. I'm
Well,
listening. I am
in
listening.
the end, all these religions tap into
Right.
something that is profound and is true. And that is just that we're all deserving of forgiveness as long as we are prepared to give forgiveness. And,
Right.
and that is recognizing the divine light in others and
Yep.
recognizing the creator's brushstrokes, however you want to see it. And if that's in Christianity, fucking let's expand upon that. And since thankfully Christians don't believe the Bible, then we don't have to be dogma held down to a fucking Bible that tells us not to eat shrimp.
True. 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 True.
Right?
True.
It
This is
tells
going to
you
be a
that.
conversation we got to get into sometime because you got me interested right now. You seriously got me thinking.
You're a fisherman. I see.
You got me thinking. You know, because one thing I want to do with my story, man, in my life is I want to help people. I want to make a change in people's lives,
Well,
and
imagine how my faith is growing right now to hear you say that.
I want to. If I can change one person's life, it made it all worth it. And
Well, you're living as a cautionary tale, and I think you're going
I,
to help honestly with what we've done here. And
I,
I think we continue to help when we destigmatize getting help
right.
for addiction.
Yeah. You know,
People,
if you're an addict, man, all I can say if you're having get help, dude. Get off drugs, man. Life's so much better off them, and it's so much more beautiful. You
would you
know,
say don't? What would you say to minimize their fear of reaching out for help?
the reaching out and getting help and accepting the help and getting off the drugs is so much more painless than your day-to-day journey of being an addict. You know, it is so I don't know what to say, but it's just do it, man. It's worth it. It's don't be scared. Don't be scared to ask for help. You know, if
It's, it sounds to me like you eventually add up the totality of the costs. If you are chasing that drug, I'm guessing that you
right,
always have that as your vision, and you don't
right,
see the downfalls and all the things that are actually hurting you. But
right,
you yourself, you keep on kind of talking about the overall pain of it,
yeah,
right? Like because it affects your whole life and
it
everybody
does.
in it. Then,
It doesn't just affect a little piece of it. You know, you're not just going to hurt yourself. You're going to hurt everybody around you. You're going to hurt everybody you love. You're going to hurt everybody you come in contact with. You are
and
just
when you run away from them so you don't hurt them,
you're hurting them more, and you're going to hurt yourself, and you're going to hurt your kids and your wife and your girl and your mom and your dude. I don't ever want to see my mom cry again. I do not ever want to see my mother cry again because of me. You know, oh God, I've put so many people through so much pain and hurt so many people in my life that I just want to give back. I just want to give
what have you?
education, or give knowledge, or give
Have you
whatever
found
back.
any outlets for that? Are you working with 12 steps? Are you to the point to sponsor anybody yet? 2 years
No,
is a
no,
bit
no,
of
no, no.
time.
No, not at all. I'm not at that point
Okay.
yet. You know, I still got a lot of work I got to do with myself. I'm in the process right now putting together a book. I guess you could say writing a book.
Mm-hmm.
On my life, kind of as a self-help manual of what not to do and what to do, and you know,
What are you calling it? A cautionary tale,
something I don't have a
or the
title
bell
for it yet.
tolls for you,
For whom the
or the
bell
bell
tolls.
tolls?
I that's actually I like that. No, I still don't know what I'm calling it yet. It's just so far it's a bunch of thoughts on paper, um, that somehow I'm going to string together into something kind of entertainable. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just I just want to help and I want to give back and I just want to see people live and enjoy life because life's fucking beautiful, man. Stop and smell the roses because they smell good. So yeah.
On that, dude, I love it. I don't want to say anymore because I'm going to ruin anything. So let me
I know.
say it. I've obviously stayed too long and said too much. Oh, wait a second.
What?
Hold the press.
Stop the
Somebody's
press.
coming in. Oh
Uh oh.
God, you're absolutely right, Candy. There's a very important thing
What?
that the candy makes me do
Yeah.
that I feel a little ashamed to do sometimes. And so I'm
What's
just
that?
going to be vulnerable and explain that this is an odd moment for me when I ask the Ask Kyle a Question section. But apparently, there are people that are interested to hear me talk. And not that I haven't already, like I already preached a whole fucking sermon here. Um,
Right.
do you have any question that you would ask me, brother?
Why the Juggalo tattoo?
Oh, dude, because Juggalo is another one of those beautiful things misunderstood like Christianity because its followers are shitty, but yet the message is not bad at all, you know? What was it? Lordy, Lordy, we got to protest that man. Some rock and roll ninja bit the head off a rat, will march in his concerts and send him to hell because he's so fucking terrible. But meanwhile, his album sells double and triple because you heard about him rubbing his nipple. Religious? Shit, you help that man bank. Instead of helping those poor people eating out of them garbage cans, when I come to town, you better protest me because, motherfucker, I could use the money. Now, that is some thought that we can see sometimes the hate that you try to form actually make young Kyle interested in going to see the last, no, the, not the Passion of Christ, the Last Temptation of Christ, which was a movie the Catholic Church hated.
Right.
But I wanted to see it only because of their protestations made it to the news. And this kind of observation was made by IC fucking P. And I think it's poignant and there's value there. And I think when people go to hate them, the joke is right there in their face. First off, if you're hating them, it's because you're trying to take them seriously. People will say, hey, they don't know how magnets work. Yeah. Did you notice they're also in clown makeup?
Yeah. Dude, I mean, you know what? I got to say, I've listened to them and people do have them misconstrued and they do have a beautiful message to preach.
And then there's their followers that just like Christians. I mean, Christ isn't awesome too. Christians fucking suck though. Let's be honest. ICP is here or there as far as your judgment for taste in music. What they're Juggalo followers, of which I have often been one, and I am not ashamed to admit are shit. They're just like all groups of people. They're pure fucking shit. And maybe Juggalos are maybe worse because somehow they exalt in it. You know, they're like excited to smell bad or to wear vomit on their shoe or something. So that's why I have the Juggalo tattoo, because to me it will never cease to be funny that I wanted something that was my own, and I got on the bus and I was wearing my favorite Metallica shirt, and it was Master of Puppets, and that's a fucking badass album.
That's a great album.
But then the kids that I wanted to be accepted by, they saw me getting on. They're like, "Oh yeah, you like Metallica?" And long hair, kid, jean jacket, just the right number of patches. I was like, dude, this guy's cool as shit. I want to be him. I was like, yeah, I love Metallica. Obviously, he does too, right? So I'm like, yeah, man, I love Metallica. He's like, what's the best album? Oh shit, quiz time. Well, it's obvious, right? I say Master of Puppets. He hates me immediately. And he tells me, Ride the Lightning. Exactly that. You saw it coming. And there was this weird fraternity that I was kicked out of for the first day. And eventually I find myself in the same position on the bus when a kid's getting on and he's got his end justice for all.
Thank you.
Right. And I'm like, full circle. I hate this kid. I hate this kid that is me, you know? And in that moment.
But you're all the same.
But we're all the same, huh? And so in that moment, I realized that I wanted something that nobody would ever want to take from me, though, too. And no one wants to take ICP from you. You will not come onto the bus and have somebody that's like, dude, no, my fucking favorite album's this new shit or whatever. They're like, it's a group that they're just like, no, that's yours. All right, go ahead. Whoop, whoop. Yep.
Right. Whoop, whoop.
Fago dance Fago over there. Go ahead. You're a little sticky, huh? That's a long ride home. That's the fucked up thing. You ever gone to a show too? You'll be sold on it. I'm telling you, they do a live fucking
show is fucking amazing to go to.
Have you seen it?
I've been to one, yes. It is absolutely amazing.
Don't get up front though, right?
No.
It don't matter. You're sticky. No. It's a
you
sticky
don't even have you can hate ICP, dude. You don't have to even like ICP. You go to an ICP show, it will be the best time you've ever had.
I believe the same. I went to one and I was 100% sold. Yeah. It was such a cheap amount of theatrics. Like you're really looking at their stage show and you're like, honestly, they don't have more than maybe, I mean, in the artwork, maybe, okay. I'm not going to add up the artwork, but for the night, they have maybe $5,000, right? Of people they got to pay out and Fago that they got to kick into the crowd.
Right.
But they have created spectacular spectacle that
they've created
people there will remember for the rest of their lives.
It's amazing.
Did you end up being? Are you down with the clown? Is that what you're saying?
I'm a listener. I'm a listener.
We can't get you to say it. Okay.
Whoop whoop.
Love it. Well, with that, we have officially stayed too long and said too much. Dave Bell, we'd love to have you back on. Let's do this again, okay?
Absolutely. You let me know
Thank
when
you
and
so
I'm there.
much, man.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Kyle. I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
All right. Bye.